Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're joining me from. This is your host of the show, Noah Ndlovu, and my co-host is Mr. Jimmy Katuta. The country at least can breathe a sigh of relief knowing that the elections are now behind us. Zambia took to the polls on August the 13th, 2026. It's mandated in the constitution to hold elections every 5 years. And this time around, the main contenders on the election were the UPND and the NRI. It's a Tonse Alliance, and it's called NRPUP. Those were the two frontliners on the presidential side, but there were countless others. In total, there were 14 presidential candidates. And the names, I had to look the names up. So you have Mr. Walia Kelvin from ZNP. You had Gibbons Chansa, MEE, Xavier Chungu, LDP, Hakainde Hachilema, UPND, Halikaraba, CF, Given Katuta, I think he was your relative, Mr. Jimmy Katuta.
Yes, yes.
Given Katuta, Indi IND, Howard Kunda, and plenty others. Fred Membe, SP, Munduwile, Brian, NRPUP, Brian Mushimba, Akim Njovu, DU, Daniel Pule. I was surprised that Mr. Pule is still out there competing. And lastly, Richwell Siamene, NFP. So there were a lot of people contesting these elections, and we are happy that overall the elections were held peacefully. People were able to show up and cast their vote for their candidate of choice. So let me bring in Mr. Katuta. Mr. Katuta, the election is behind us. What's your take on the happenings thus far?
I want to say thank you, Brother Noah, for taking the time to have this show, and I'm always happy to be part of it. This was my very first
Mhm.
Zambian election, so it was an exhilarating experience. Just to watch democracy in Zambia, it was a phenomenal event for me, and I must say that I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the way our country organizes the elections. And naturally, in any election, even in the US, you know that there will always be people who are displeased with the results. But ultimately, what's important is that civility prevails. What we don't want is a situation where you have anarchy or any type of chaos going on after elections. So Zambia prevailed again. So I'm happy that we are maintaining our status of being the peaceful, or rather one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. So it was a very good experience. There are people are starting to finally settle down,
Mhm.
accepting results. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting, and to see that we're where we are now and Zambia is moving forward, I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I think it's for me. I haven't voted in Zambia. I mean, I've never voted because by the time I was of age back in the 91, Chiluba comes in. I didn't vote. The following election, I sat it out. No, I think the 96 one, that's when I was of age to vote. But fast forward, I mean, I left the country, so I haven't participated in the electoral process of Zambia. So I'm thankful that the process played out very smoothly. Obviously, there could be isolated incidents here and there where people reporting there were some mishaps back and forth. But I think overall, the election was conducted fairly for, especially some of us who are outside. We have relatives who are constantly, relatives and friends sending videos. of the happenings. This is happening, and I think the time that we live in, it's very we should count our blessings because we all have smartphones and we're all plugged in to the internet, and anybody can stream, post the results from any part of the country. So, Mr. Talk a little bit about where you voted. Did you have to travel out of town, or it was just within Lusaka on the day of the election itself? Since you've been on the ground, talk to us because it was like you mentioned your first time after a very long time. How was the experience and just the climate? People lining up, were people waking up 3, 4 in the morning, or was it pretty much laid back? Talk to us about just the overall on the day itself.
You, right. You know what is, for me, uh, I will reveal my age here. So I never voted in Zambia because by the time I left, Kenneth Kaunda was still president. So I left Zambia in 1993, or rather 1989. I came to the US in 1993. So I never really had a chance to vote. So this was something that was very exciting for me. And I imagine a lot of people in some polling stations, there were a lot of people that got up very early. The excitement was there. For me, what really, really stood out was that uh, this was not one of those elections where you just assumed that one person would win. It appeared to be a very tight race. There were a lot of supporters for Mr. Kaunda,
Okay, we may be having some technical challenge there with Mr. Katuta. So I think we'll circle back to Mr. Katuta in a second while he gets his audio plugged in. So tell us where you are watching us from, and if you have a question, please put it in a comment. If you voted, please let us know. And also, if you can hear the audio, if it's loud and clear, we want to make sure at least there are no glitches. So tell us where you're watching us from and tell us if you voted, and also share if you can hear, if the audio is good. So we have Lady Malama watching from Indiana. Good, good. Thank you. So again, for those who are watching, if you have a comment, you have a question, you can simply drop it in your on your phone. You don't have to travel anywhere, just on your phone in the chat. Then we'll be able to stream or share your views. So we do this show to give a analysis on the election. The election was conducted on August the 13th, and the president who emerged victorious was Hakainde Hachilema from the UPND party. And the inauguration is coming up in the next few days. So right now, I think the Hakainde Hachilema is the president elect. He has not taken his presidential office for the second term. So now I think we have Mr. Katuta has rejoined. So it happens usually when you have a live broadcast, and this is a live broadcast, by the way, so it's possible sometimes to get lost in translation in terms of this technology and internet. So, Mr. Katuta, welcome back, sir.
my apologies, viewers. This is one of the things that we have come to, I don't want to say get used to, but we have challenges with the internet. So my sincere apologies. But I'm sure that by the end of this year, these types of mishaps will not be happening. So I don't even remember what you heard last. What is it that I was saying that was last year
Yeah,
before?
you were just about to reveal your age since it's been a while since.
Yes, yes, yes. So as I was saying, I left when Kaunda was president, so I never really had a chance to vote. But this time around, I voted. I was very happy. I voted in Lusaka because I'm currently in Lusaka. But what I really enjoyed was the privilege of senior citizens because I'm a senior citizen now, so I didn't have to stand in line.
Mhm.
I got to the polling station and I went to the back of the line. And some lady said, "You know, you are a senior citizen. You don't have to be back here." You know, the line was so long, it wrapped
Mhm.
around corners. So I went up to the front, and there were about three other seniors in front of me, and I was in and out of there within 15 minutes. So I
Oh, that's
voted.
good.
Yes,
That's good.
yes. So very exciting, very exciting. The experience was very, very, very good. And I was happy to see that most of the people that uh, I was hoping,
Mhm.
even though we are non-partisan here, obviously my heart is somewhere, but the
Mhm.
people that I was hoping be in would be elected got elected. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I think that's good. It's good that overall there is peace, and during an election, not everybody is going to be happy. You expect a segment of society, a segment of the country to be unhappy with the result. That is normal. And also, you expect it's like Manchester United is playing Arsenal. You have some die-hard Manchester fans, you have some die-hard Arsenal fans. At the end of the day, there can only be one winner. And
Right,
when an election has concluded, it is incumbent upon the candidates to show good sportsmanship or good leadership to congratulate the winning party,
right,
because there can only be one winner. So we have seen, I think, a lot of there's been congratulatory messages coming in from left, right, center, even I think as far as the foreign countries, the United States and others have sent in their congratulatory messages to the winning party. I urge the the losing party, I think if I can call them that, an election, it's expected that somebody is going to be happy, somebody is not going to be happy. And also, it's incumbent upon the leadership to exercise leadership by standing up and encouraging the supporters that the election is only decided through the ballot. And that is exactly what happened on August the 13th. The people of Zambia decided the fate of the country for the next 5 years, and the fate of the country was entrusted to the leadership of the UPND. So, for those who did not emerge victorious, victorious this time around, they have an opportunity to go back, reflect, and see what they did and what they could have done better. Because you can always come back. Like in if you listen to reggae music, mostly they will say rewind and come again. So I
right.
urge the the unsuccessful political parties to rewind and come again. What would you say, Mr. Katuta?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, for instance, my sister, Dr. Given Katuta, was a very inspiring candidate for a lot of people.
Hmm.
She made it known that women can actually participate at the highest level as far as the office is concerned. And she did very well. She did very well. And what I really adored about her was that if you followed her campaign, she didn't run a smear campaign. She never talked about anybody. There was no calling names or trying. She was just focusing on what her vision was. So I was very, and I'm still very proud of her. And I can see her. I sent her a message not too long ago to say, I see her 2031 really, really making waves. So, but obviously there was some bad actors, and which brings, it's sad because some of the behavior that we have encountered from some of these opponents is so unlike Zambia.
Hmm.
You know, it's fine to run a campaign, an aggressive campaign, which they did. All of them did. And by the way, Kelvin Fubabwalia is a friend of mine. He's a Mufulira guy. We all grew up in Mufulira together. He did very well too. So there are a lot of prospects that will emerge as the country moves forward. But for now, what we have is Hakainde Hichilema, and in my opinion, he is doing a very, very good job. I've been in Zambia now. I think I'm going on to my third year now, and just the development that is going on around Zambia, specifically Lusaka.
Hmm.
Um, you see roads, new roads emerging everywhere. You see a lot of progress, a lot of businesses, a lot of good infrastructure in place. So I think it's best that he gets an opportunity to run a second term to give him an opportunity to finish the job he started.
Yeah, I think that's well said, Mr. Katuta. So we'll circle back after our first break. We'll be right back. We encourage our people to share with your friends, your circles, your it helps with the algorithm if you when you like the page, so that at least we are able to reach even more people, sharing information, messaging that is helpful to us all as a Zambian people. So we're going to take a short break and then we'll be right back continuing the conversation. Election aftermath: Zambia decided the fate for the next 5 years. So sit back, we'll be right back. Yes, if you're just joining us, this is your host Noah Ndlovu doing a special presentation looking at the Zambia decided on August the 13th. So our show is Election Aftermath. Where do we go from here? Now that the people of Zambia have decided, where do we go from here? So for those who are just joining us, if you have a comment, you have a question for our guest, or we have Mr. Siwiti, we are waiting on Mr. Siwiti to join us. He is a Zambian based in California, so he will be joining us to share his thoughts. But for those who have a comment, you have a question, put it in the chat and we'll be able to bring it up on the screen. So, Mr. Katuta, now that UPND has the mandate from the Zambian people for the next 5 years. I know we have sort of explained that not everybody is happy during an election. Now, the focus of in this podcast or this presentation is looking at where do we go from here. Now, we know that there's a segment of society that is pushing for, obviously they're not happy, we sympathize, we understand that, but now we are looking at, now that the UPND has the mandate, now that the UPND has the authority and has the next 5 years in their favor to direct and guide the country, what are some of the things that you see they should be focusing on
A
moving
very
forward?
good question. Very, very good question. So, among other things, most of the things that I would want them to focus on, they've already done. What I would like to see them do is really, really empower the small scale miners, right? You have especially our gold mining industry. There's a lot of gold in Zambia, a lot. And I feel that the government needs to add to what they've done. I know they have done some amazing things for small scale miners, including artisanal miners, to where they've made it possible for for artisanal miners to obtain licenses for small areas where they can mine. I would like them to really expand on that policy to make sure that the gold mining industry is preserved, and to make sure that the foreigners that are coming into Zambia are following the law. There's a lot of money that is sipping out of our country. We're losing taxes, for instance, because the gold mining industry is not as regulated as it needs to be. I'm happy on the copper, and the copper price keeps going up, and Zambia being the second largest producer of copper in Africa, we are standing very firm. We are on very firm ground, and with the right leadership, with pragmatism, with making sure that we use our natural resources wisely as far as trading goes, and also the reserves that we have. So everything is going well. I would like the government to really focus on doing that. And also, additionally, having been a diasporian for over 30 years, I'd like to see the government give an opportunity to Zambians in the diaspora to participate in the economy here. They're already participating as far as
Hmm.
real estate. There are a lot of Zambians that own real estate here. But I would like to see a facility that is geared towards encouraging Zambians abroad to come and invest in Zambia so that they can help boost the economy, they can help bring in foreign exchange. We have a lot of Zambians in the diaspora that have been calling me since I've been here saying, how do we participate? They want to register companies. They want to register. There has to be a streamlined approach for them to be able to register companies, to be able to open bank accounts and do everything that needs to be done without having to jump through a lot of hoops. And I think that the government should really look into that, because the diaspora is a very big contributor to the economy if you allow them. We are out there in the diaspora investing. I am one of those people, Brother Noah, that invested heavily in the United States. I had real estate, I had businesses in America, and the reason I couldn't invest in Zambia because there was no vehicle to help me to do that. And you know what happens? This is a nightmare story for that you get from a lot of Africans, or rather Zambians in the diaspora, where they trust their family members to run their businesses or to do something, and it's very disappointing. It always ends up in a bad way because naturally the families are suffering. I'm using suffering for lack of a better word. Uh, they don't have the economic opportunities that they need. So when they have a family member who's in the diaspora, send them money to start a business or to do something for them, they misuse that money, because they're like, what are you going to do as a family member? You're not going to take them to jail. So I'd like to see the emergence of the diaspora desk. This is something that we have been talking about for many years. And I think that if that were allowed, to where we have a diaspora desk in Zambia, preferably somewhere near the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Finance, whatever, I'll let the architects determine where they should have it. But that would be a very good liaison between the Zambian government and the diaspora. The diaspora is considered what, the 11th province, but yet we don't get CDF, right? Not that we're asking for CDF, but we're just asking for something similar to that, something that will give us an opportunity to grow and invest in Zambia. That's what I'd like to see. So if they could put
Mhm.
that into play, that would be very good.
Yeah, yeah, well said, Mr. Katuta. It's important. So first of I was being corrected over here. I said President Hachilema, but I was being corrected that it's Hichilema. So my apologies for that. Anyway, I
That's why,
hope.
we just say HH here because
Oh yeah, I think I'll just stick to HH so that at least I don't mispronounce the name. So yeah, so for those who are watching, if you have a comment, you have a question, please drop it up in the chat, and then we'll be able to bring it up on our screen. So I think I like what you said, Mr. Katuta. The diasporans is considered the 11th province of Zambia. So, and it does not request, and it doesn't need the CDF funds. What the diasporans need is an official diaspora desk to be able, in order to allow us people who are outside the country to be able to have a platform or a portal to connect and air our expectations or views to the government. So I think that would be very ideal. It has been talked about so many times, by I think we started talking about this during the Rupiah Banda government, and then there was some talk even during the Lungu government. So we can only hope that this will be finalized, because it has been talked about, but nothing has really come out of that. So hopefully this new term for the HH and the UPND, it's something that they need to look into, because in terms of investment, there is a lot of manpower in terms of human capital that could be coming from the country. And then let me just take also this opportunity to share that the institutions in Zambia, uh, they need some they need what's the better word, they need some revamping or restructuring. So for
yeah,
instance, the banking sector is such that the rules, it's I like to say it's copy and paste system, where if the US has a system that requires a certain documentation to be provided for one to open a bank account, they will copy the same thing and just put a rationale. And I'm talking from experience, because, for instance, if I can put it out there, we have tried from 2005 to open a bank account through APSA or Barclays Bank, whatever it's called now, but we failed. It's bring this documentation, is the back and forth. And I wrote to the customer service for APSA. This was a few months ago, and they say, according to their policy, they have 5 days to fix the problem, but it's been almost like countless months they haven't responded. So institutions like that needs to be revised. I think the UPND government needs to look in some of these areas. I don't know who is primarily responsible, and also the other sector is the what you call it, the passports. It's
mhm,
good that they have a portal where people can renew the passport, but the expectation for people who are outside the country is that you are supposed to go back for the interview. So then it defeats the purpose of having the portal. So the foreign affairs, or is it the home affairs, they need to be able to figure out how can they tap into the vastness of expertise and also the investment power by structuring the banking system that it's up to standard, so that people don't ask you for countless documentation. And in some cases you have functional institution, but sometimes it's just the people. You can attest to this, Mr. Katuta. The system in Zambia is such that you have to bribe someone to get them to operate. So hopefully the government should be able to look into that. And then also the other thing is, I think customer service is not, this is not the government. I think the people in people at large, there has to be some processes of mindset shift where people, I have people who show up at the hospital, they are being ignored. Ah, ima nkalani huko? Simona, hey,
Mhm.
I'm on the phone and things
Right,
like that.
right,
So that is totally unheard of in, in developed nations. So
mhm,
it's not necessarily that you're criticizing. So you have, see, in order to solve a problem, you must clearly define the problem. So when you define the problem, there you are able to come up with a solution or the remedy. So the customer service in Zambia is terrible. It
right,
is, I don't know what word you can use, because at the end of the day, there has to be the collective might of the Zambian people to realize that we are better as a united front. United we stand, divided we fall. Even when from this just past ended election, obviously there are people who are not happy with the result, and then the majority have spoken, because in democracy you go by the majority vote. You have
right.
over 2.9, I think it's close to 3 million people, 2.8 or 2.9 people voting for the continuity of the UPND government, and then you have 1.8. So when you look at the numbers, numbers don't lie. So the majority of people want this government to continue. So we can only hope by pointing out areas where there are gaps that the government will be able to utilize to figure out how they can improve. Because in the next 5 years, there's going to be uh, the Zambian people will be given a chance to decide the fate of the country from 2031 onwards. But right now, I think we'll be, I'll end it at there. I don't know if Mr. Katuta want to add something on that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll piggyback on you as far as customer service goes.
Hmm.
Being here these past few years has really led me to see and somewhat understand why we have such poor customer service.
Hmm.
My thought is that we don't have competition in business. So the reason we customer service is such a big deal in Western countries and other developed countries is because when you have a restaurant, there are 20 other restaurants within your vicinity. So naturally, if you want to retain your clients, you have to give them customer service. We don't have that here. So
Hmm.
people have that mindset to say, look, if you're not happy, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And where are you going to go, right? One
Hmm.
of the things that I'm happy about the outcome of this election is Shtambala Mwewa was elected mayor,
Yes.
and is a fellow diasporian. So naturally, he has that experience of living abroad and trying to and seeing that some of the things that we take for granted here, or some of the things that we have normalized, like having dirty streets or having people who don't care about the environment, that is something that is normalized here. Now, Stambala, his worship at this point, the mayor of Lusaka, the elect, mayor
Hmm.
elect, is that I was watching him today, Brother Noah. I was watching him today. He was literally on the streets, policing the streets. I saw him, it was very interesting. I saw him watch somebody drop something on the ground, and
Iwe
right
Doba.
there while he was vlogging live right there. He said, "Hey, Iwe, tole fiapo."
Hmm.
And, you know, and then there was a guy, a minibus driver that was
Hmm.
in the minibus, and he was eating a banana, and he just threw a banana peel right there outside the car. And he was going around, and that's what we need. We need somebody who can say, look, this is our country. This is like your home, and you want to see it clean. So the advantage of having people like him in a position that he has is that they will make our country better. The customer service issue is something that certainly needs to be addressed. And as far as the banking system, you were talking about having challenges opening a bank account with ABSA. I just opened a bank account with ABSA myself, and I
Mhm.
didn't have any problem, right? So these are some of the things that the diaspora desk can handle. See,
Mhm.
most of these things, like you're mentioning, obtaining passports and things, these are things that should be done through the embassies. But our embassies, I don't know if they are underfunded or what the issue is. They are not equipped. Maybe they are not equipped or staffed with enough people to sort of manage these sort of requirements. Again, the diaspora desk would help facilitate. Diaspora desk would work closely with embassies. So there's so many benefits to us having a diaspora desk because it will not only improve the communication between Zambians in the diaspora and the government of the day, it will also help Zambians in the diaspora invest in our country. So those are some of the things that we need to be looking at and really
Yeah,
serious.
well said, Mr. Katuta. The CDF for us in the diaspora is the diaspora desk. So we appeal to the government to ensure that this time around there are concrete steps to put into practicality the diaspora desk, because that will be able to streamline and to be able to help resolve and address some of the concerns that the diasporians, because what Zambians need to know is the challenges that people outside the country face are different from the challenges that the people in the country face. Just like the people in the urban areas, like in Lusaka, in the Copper Belt, and other areas, the challenges that they face are different from the people in Shangombo or Serenje and the rural areas. So having a system and also having countless people in the process to mitigate, to alert, to notify, I think that will be helpful to streamline the different challenges that we have. So we are continuing the conversation. We'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned, invite your friends and your colleagues. We'll be right back after this short break. All right, so we are continuing the conversation, the aftermath. Where do we go from here now that the election has been cast and the UPND have the mandate for the next 5 years? So I think on my end, what I can advise the government is that they need to have, for instance, we have the presidential advisor, G2 Kayumba. They need to be 10 of those talking at different levels. For instance, G2 can speak to people who are well knowledgeable, people who are well informed. But there are different segments of society. And I think Mr. Katuta and you would also recall having situations like this. So let's say you have a WhatsApp group, and you and I were coming from the background of being association presidents. You can have 100 people on a WhatsApp group, and you post, you make an announcement of an event that is coming up. The event has the flyer, the flyer itself has a date, the time, the location, and the speaker, and what the event is all about. You can have all the 5 areas mentioned there. But you will still get people who ask you, so where is the event going to be? And the other person is going
Right?
to ask, what time? Even if everything is spelled out there. So my point here is that people have got different levels of understanding and expectation. Some people went to as far as the grade 7. Some people never even been to school. Some people went to night school, if night school is still there. Some people went up to college, and others went to post college, and they have different graduate degrees. So my point is the level of understanding, if you put everything, all these people into one group, the same information is going to be understood differently. So when you look at the past election, what I was able to conclude is that the government has a lot of work to do because there is a
Mhm.
lot of misinformation or misunderstanding on the ground. And the curriculum in Zambia has to be structured in such a way that it's teaching, for instance, governance. Zambia is a major supplier of copper, but you need from primary school, secondary school, people need to be taught what mining is, so that at least people have a basic understanding of how they can utilize the different types of minerals out there. And also, you have to have a system from an early age where people are taught about governance, so that at least people are not easily hoodwinked, people are not easily deceived by the politicians, because people will
Mhm.
have the basic understanding of how governance and civic education work. What is the responsibility of a mayor, for instance? What is the
Mhm.
responsibility of a councillor? What is the responsibility of an MP? So that at least people can clearly see. And if possible, if it were up to me, I would have politicians will be licensed. They'll be licensed like every 3 to 5 years, so that you get to renew your license based on what you have been able to. It's more like a registered nurse. If you are a CNA
Right.
or if you are a nurse, you have to renew your license periodically every 2 years or every 3 years, or depending on the state there or the locality where you reside. Having a system like that where politicians can be held accountable, I think that would be helpful. And also ensuring that at least the education, it's a good thing that the government has free education, but the government needs to go a step further by ensuring that there is intentional education to help quell out this, for lack of a better word, ignorance among the masses, people who do not understand. And you can't really blame them. This is why it's an opportunity for the leaders to look at the challenges that are on the ground. Just like I mentioned, the challenges for the
Mhm.
people in the diaspora are different from the challenges of people in Zambia on the ground. We don't care about paperwork. We want passports, bank accounts, and trying to see how we can invest. How do we get our paperwork to be easy, new, and all. Now, people who are in the rural areas, they are mostly, excuse me, they are mostly concerned about, do they have fertilizer? Do they have access to seeds? So people in the towns like Lusaka and other places, they are mostly occupied. Where are they going to get a job? Which company is hiring? So things like that. What's your take, Mr. Katuta, on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. We need all those things in place. I'm having challenges. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, but the sound is a little bit faint. So let's see, for those who are watching and listening to us, please put in the comment section if you can hear, if the audio is coming out clearly. But I can hear you. Proceed, Mr. Katuta.
I'm having real challenges
All
here.
right, so
Just
let's do this. Let's take a short break, and we can work on that, and then we'll be right back.
yes,
So
please.
let's,
Yes. So,
yeah, yeah,
so,
let's take a short
so
break, and then we'll be right back, so at least we can see where we're at. So here is a song by Nora God, and then we'll be right back.
izo, mitengo izo, eyi mitengo izo, amama mitengo izo, mitengo izo, eyi mitengo izo, amama mitengo izo, tisazijue, tisazitente, tisawanonge, amama mitengo izo, tisazijue, tisazitente, tisawanonge, amama mitengo izo. Kulia mitengo, kulia mvula, iyo njala iyo, Mulungu naye, hey, abakulenga mtengo, anaziba kuti, sima pumamo uyo, isa, sima pumamo uyo, sima pumamo uyo, sima pumamo uyo, isa, sima pumamo uyo, sima pumamo uyo, sima pumamo uyo. Mitengo izo, eyi mitengo izo, amama mitengo izo, mitengo izo, eyi mitengo izo, amama mitengo izo, tisazijue, tisazitente, tisawanonge, amama mitengo izo, tisazijue, tisazitente, tisawanonge, amama mitengo izo.
Tisajo mitengo, taonani mbala meselila. Kulia mitengo, iyo njala iyo. Taonani atu wakulila. Kulia mitengo, iyo njala iyo.
Twilalaba impanga emushiwa na malefyo nefyo nsebane. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Nefula taile loka pantu fimuti mwalitema. Natulekyo kuteme fimuti twala wana
Tisazijue, tisazitente, tisawanonge, amama mitengo izo, tisazijue, tisazitente, tisawanonge, amama mitengo izo.
We are back. This is a conversation looking at the just ended election in Zambia. And my co host is Mr. Jimmy Katuta. We were supposed to be joined by a few other people, but I think I'm being told they are having some technical challenges. So, Mr. Siwiti, Mwengu Siwiti will be joining us, but in the meantime, it's going to be Mr. Katuta was having some technical challenges. So if you are able to hear the stream, the audio is coming out good, please put it up in the chat so that at least we can be sure, because we don't want talking to ourselves here. So if you have a question for myself or Mr. Katuta, please simply put it up in the chat there. So hopefully, Mr. Katuta, the audio has been worked on. But while we wait for, let's see, Mr. Siwiti, we are also waiting on you, sir. So if you are able to plug in, that will be good. So again, we are experiencing a few technical challenges at the moment, but we should be able to get going. So Mr. Katuta is back. Let's see. All right, Mr. Katuta.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. I think I'm frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but yeah, you are frozen. So
My
okay.
picture is frozen. This is very embarrassing. So sorry, my people.
No, no,
This is
no,
so bad.
it's fine. So let's do this. You can leave and come back, and then we'll circle back. Let's see. So Mr.
Yeah.
Katuta is gonna leave and come back. So let's see. All right. So yeah. So we are. Isaac Kunda says it's loud and clear. So thank you, Mr. Kunda. Sometimes when you are doing these shows, especially if it's a live show, you don't know what to expect. So at times you have some challenges here and there, but thank you. It looks like the audio is good. So Mr. Katuta, and let me see if we can go to Mr. Siwiti. Mr. Siwiti, are you able to connect? So you see, this is one of the challenges, folks, when you're doing a live show, things happen. So, but all in all, I think the majority of Zambians want a better Zambia. People want a functional Zambia where everybody could live in good health with good employment, good source of income. The farmers have their seeds, they have their equipment that they need to carry out their day-to-day activities. You have the working class in the urban areas have access to employment, and we have functional institutions, schools where people have access to quality and appropriate education. So education is not just about having free education. It's a great thing that the government has free education, but what is the end goal? What type of Zambians are we producing? That should be factored into the curriculum. So recently, I think the curriculum was revised, I think a year or two ago, but what is the end goal? What type of students does the Zambian education produce? Does it produce engineers? When you look at for instance, the Indian education, those are known for IT technology. What type of students are we hoping to produce in Zambia? When you look at the education system, for instance, in China, the parliament of China, most of the people who are in parliament are, okay, Mr. Katuta says the signal is getting bad. So, all right, thank you, Mr. Katuta. We'll give it a little bit of time to see if he's able to plug in again. So the education system in Zambia, or the parliamentarians in China, most of them, they are what? They are engineers. They have an engineering degree. Now, when you look at the equivalent of parliamentarian or senators or congressmen in the USA, what do they have? Put it in the chat if you know. So the leaders in China, most of them, they have a technical engineering background. What can you say about the leadership in Zambia? What do they have? So if you know, put it in the chat. So when we talk about education, that's how education is supposed to be structured, that you have an end goal. You want to produce people who are primarily going to be engineers. This is why China has a lot of technological advances. Most of these IT, the phones, Apple factories, they are all in China. Most of these companies, they have got big plants or manufacturing hubs in China, because China is dropping a lot of technology out there because their education is structured to be in line to produce that. India, when you talk about IT, you know, most of I have friends who and people who help when I have some IT technology. I have folks on speed dial in Bangladesh and in Pakistan and in India. So, for instance, going back to the question that I posed, in the USA, most of the leaders, they have a law background. They either studied some constitutional law or some law of some form. So the same thing in Zambia, we have to figure out, okay, we have free education. What is our end goal? Do we want to produce engineers? Do we want to produce people who can construct the country, or what? So how this thing work is you look at the challenges that the country has. So let me see if okay, Mr. Katuta, we're still waiting for. Okay, yeah. So we're waiting for Mr. Katuta. So, and then once he gets back, then we'll be able to continue the show. So you identify the challenges that a country has. So the challenges that Zambia has: one, there is a customer service issue. There is the issue of sanitation. This is Chitambala Mwewa, who is always promoting people to clean up, iwe dobabo, because you want to make sure that at least there is cleanliness in the country. So you structure your education to address those points that you have in mind, whether it's cleanliness or whether it's trying to we have Madam Priscilla Longo. Okay, so we'll continue. So let me just finalize my points here. So a country has to be able to identify the challenges that it has. When you identify those challenges, now you look at your capabilities as a country. What do we need in order for us as Zambia to overcome these, for instance, tribal divisions? On the Copper Belt, people, when you vote on the Copper Belt, you say, oh, that's a stronghold for what, PF or whatever. But when people vote in Southern Province, you say, oh, no, that's tribal. So one is a stronghold, one is tribal. So we have to be able as a people to figure out, how do we bridge the gaps? We are all one people. What challenges and what solutions? The solution is, what type of mindset do we need to develop as a country? Do we need people who are going to be engineers? Do we need people who are going to be lawyers? What type of people? So that has to be designed from the beginning, so that now the curriculum matches that, so that you produce that which you wish to desire, which you outrightly want to achieve in the end. So now I'll conclude my thoughts there, and let's see, because we are joined by Madam Priscilla Longo. She was contesting on the NRPUP. Hey, Priscilla, welcome to, are you able to hear me, Priscilla?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, yes. Are you able to turn on your video so that our people can see you?
Okay. We'll try. I hope the light and
Okay, yeah, we can see only. Okay, we can see you from the nose up, so that's fine. Okay, yes. Okay, that's good. So congratulations on your win as the. How does it feel? We featured you previously as the aspiring candidate for you talk. Was it the Roma or Mulungoshi ward?
Mulungushi ward.
Oh,
Yeah,
your audio is off. We can't hear you.
my audio is off.
Okay.
I see. How is it?
All right. So, okay, I'll let you reintroduce yourself to our viewers and listeners. So, Priscilla Longo, she is the incoming ward councillor. Priscilla, reintroduce yourself to our listeners. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Priscilla Lungu, and I'm the councillor now, incoming councillor for Mulungushi Ward. Mulungushi Ward is located in Olympia area. Those that know Olympia and Kalundu in Lusaka, around Parliament buildings. Yeah, that is where we are. So that is it
Okay.
about.
Yeah. So, thank you for coming back, and you've tried to speak up a little bit. How does it feel that now you have been elected into this position?
I think it feels good. I expected a win, maybe because I was confident and courageous. I knew I would score and scoop at this seat, so it feels just good. It's overwhelming, and the support is overwhelming, and yeah, it feels so nice. Looking forward to working as a counselor. I know it's a part-time job as it is, but it demands a lot of your presence as an individual, because you have to interact with your community on a daily basis. So yeah, I
Okay,
look forward to
that's good. So,
going
what?
to
Yeah, what? Okay, yeah, yeah. So, speak directly to the people who voted for you. What do they expect to see Honorable Priscilla Longo focus on in the next 100, we can say 100 days? Or what are going to be your priority areas as you assume this office?
Office. Okay, thank you so much. Priority, we want to look for office space. Mulungushi Ward does not have an office for a councillor, and so we want to lobby and find that find and look for office space. So for visibility, accessibility, and you know how it is community work. So that's like our priority as number one. Then we also want to ensure that we begin to lobby, with the mayor, with the member of parliament, and we lobby for CDF and all those things. But number one, we want office space. That's like number one priority.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember last time you mentioned that I didn't know that the councillors don't even have an office. So I mean, it's news. So hopefully the office space can be sorted out, so that at least you have a fixed point where people can come to see you and all that.
Okay, actually, councillors do have offices in their localities. It just happens that my ward does not have one. So that
Oh,
is
just
why
the
it's a
one.
priority.
Okay. Okay.
Just my ward. I don't know about other wards, but neighbors of my ward, like Ngwarere, should have, and the rest of them have. I just do not have one. So it's a matter of looking for one and, lobby so we could get one.
Okay, okay. All right. So, what message you wanna share with the people? I'm hoping Mr. Katuta could chime in to ask a question, but is still having some technical challenge. So, okay, let's see, Mr. Siwiti. Okay, Mr. Siwiti, are you able to hear me, sir? Yeah.
Okay,
So
maybe I
the
can.
challenge with doing a live show, Mr. Katuta is yeah. So they are having some challenges. So speak to your word and anything you want to say to them. Thank you.
Okay, so to start with, first of all, the campaign period was not conducive for me as a woman, because there was a point that I was literally killed, in my ward after dropping off the campaign team. And so it was on the 12th of August, because that was our last day, of campaigns. And so I came across the UPND cadres who literally came, blocked my back as I was driving off home. Now, because I was dropping off flyers for my president, Brian Munduile, and myself, so when they spotted the color blue, they came after me.
So hopefully, yeah. So today we've been having some technical challenges, as you see. Mr. Jimmy Katuta is struggling there, and now our special guest Priscilla Lungu, she's also having some challenges. So, all right, let me see if we can. All right, so at least you are witnessing live programming in real time. So this stuff happens. So if we had recorded this show, you wouldn't have seen any of the glitches. So if you have a question, you have a comment, you can put it up in the chat. And Priscilla is also frozen, and she's also having some technical challenges. Let's go back to Mr. Katuta and see. Okay, he's also struggling. Let's go to Mr. Siwiti. Mr. Siwiti, are you able to hear me, sir? Okay, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to go ahead and conclude the show. I apologize for the challenges there on the network. We have struggled to have Mr. Katuta reconnect. He was on from the beginning of the show, but for some reason, the internet, I mean, he earlier communicated that the internet was in and out. So, and we were joined briefly by the incoming ward councillor, Priscilla Lungu, but again, she is also experiencing some technical challenges. So she was saying that she was having some challenges, I think, on the day before the election, where there were some cadreism and welcome behavior, I think, towards her. So I'm happy that she won the election. I'm happy that she is safe and she's okay. This is, I think, one area where all of us as meaning people need to condemn any form of violence from any angle, because at the end of the day, we are all wanting a better Zambia. I'm sure the NRPUP and the other political parties, they are all interested in having a beautiful, successful, functioning Zambia. And the unfortunate thing is there can only be one winner during an election. And this time around, the winner of the election is President Hichilema. President Hichilema of the UPND, President HH, he has emerged as victorious. So I think the lesson for us all as people is we have to rally behind the president and the party and provide them all the assistance that they need for the betterment of the country. Division, there's no room for division, there's no room for tribal talk or people creating all kinds of unruly behavior. That's not going to help the country. I think people need to embrace and love one another. People need to be able to say, okay, I do not agree with the result, or I agree with the result, but at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about it. We are happy that the election is now behind us, is now in the past. So for those who did not succeed this time around, you have an opportunity in 2031. So it's time to reflect on what areas or what message you want to put out there so that at least people can vote for you. Election is about numbers and it's about the majority. The majority have spoken. So now we are looking forward to the next 5 years. So from Premier Media and Kochalo, we wish President HH all the best. And we hope that the country will even improve even much, much better and become one of the best hubs in Southern Africa, because Zambia has a lot to offer. And for the candidates who did not succeed, my message to you is rewind and come again. You have an opportunity in 2031 to make your pitch to the Zambian people, and the Zambian people will decide the way forward. But for now, we thank you for joining us on our show, and we'll circle back on a future program. For now, it's thank you.